Super duper doo, how are you? Are you healthy, fit and strong, or like the rest of the world seems to be becoming more and more of? As a human race, we've become fatter, sicker, weaker, more depressed than we've ever been. And there's a lot of blame. We blame takeaway food, we blame sugar, we blame soft drinks, we blame the government. There's a whole heap of blame going on. But when do we take responsibility for our own human body? And if you ask yourself, don't care what everybody else is doing, just you personally, if you're not in great shape, if you're not healthy, fit and strong, if you don't love what you see in the mirror, if you don't have a stack of energy, if you're not performing at your best, have you asked yourself, how did I get to this spot? If you've ever been healthy, fit and strong in the past, how about just aim backwards and go, well, what was I doing before when I was healthy, fit and strong that I'm not doing now? Because then all I've got to do is change what I'm doing now back to what I was doing before. If you've never been healthy, fit and strong, and you aren't healthy, fit and strong now and you want to be, could it be a great idea to say, well, whatever I'm doing now isn't working, so I need to make a change? And maybe just do the opposite of what you're doing. So whatever you're eating isn't working, the exercise that you're not doing isn't working, because the exercise that you don't do obviously can't make you healthy, fit and strong. And then there's a really interesting thing to take a look at, because we never used to be a fat world. We used to be lean, we used to be strong, we used to be mentally tough. Something happened in the last 20, 30, not that long, there's not that many years that we've turned in. When I was a small child, and as long as I can remember, the world was in pretty good shape. We've just gotten fatter and sicker and weaker as we've got older. I love that there's flies and bees out here. It's just such a beautiful day. What we need to do is have a look at take responsibility and have a look at our life. And living on a farm, living out in the rural community, it's really interesting to see what changes have happened. So I'm sure that 40, 50 years ago, the way farming was done was a lot more labour intensive. Cows had to be milked, ground had to be dug up with our own muscles. Now we've got tractors, we've got diggers, we've got earth movers, we've got cars, we've got all sorts of different things, including I cut my grass still now because I don't have very much grass. If I've got tall weeds on my property, I cut them with hand scissors. But there are whippersnippers and lawnmowers and ride-on lawnmowers. I'll give you a classic example. I had a rural property in Auckland in New Zealand, and the first person that came to mow our lawn, because it was in a massive amount of lawn and I was travelling a lot, he was a very young, thin, lean, healthy man, and he used to mow my property with a push mower, and he'd race around like a Formula One driver on his push mower and clean up the grass, cut the grass. The next guy that became available to do my grass, he had a ride-on mower, and he was a lovely fellow, but he was a very chubby fellow because he just sat on his bum all day mowing the lawn. Same job. In fact, it took them the same amount of time, because the young guy that used to use a push mower, he would do it really, really fast. And I'm sharing that with you because what in your life are you not doing? Are you taking the escalator or the lift and not the stairs? I just refuse. Now, coming up my driveway right now is a digger. The digger's coming to move a large amount of earth for me so that I can fill up my dam with even more water. Now, the interesting thing about Johnny, he's a tiny little guy who's really lean and really fit and really healthy. He's the digger driver. But he does everything fast. He sits in his digger, but he gets on and off his digger really fast. He moves his body really fast, and he's in great shape. And maybe that's something to consider. Are you doing things fast or slow? Are you active during the day? There's a thing that we seem not to take into account, is our non-exercise activity, thermogenesis, it's called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So not planned exercise, and there's a thing now called a fit couch potato. So you go to the gym for 30 minutes or an hour every day, and you for that amount of time you do hard exercise, but for the rest of the day you do nothing. And those people end up being not in very good shape, even though they go to the gym every day, and they whinge, moan and complain that they're not healthy, fit and strong. So how about we take responsibility for our life? How about we get fit, get strong and stay that way for the rest of our life, and not be the human race that is sick and depressed and overweight and out of shape and anxious and annoyed with the world. Let's take responsibility and be the healthiest and fittest and strongest we can be. And I share that because I want that for our kids. Go Johnny on the digger. May we all, as human beings, live our life to the max, because we are healthy, fit and strong. Woohoo! Super duper doo. How are you? Healthy, fit and strong.